Throughout history, there have been stories about tigers so enormous they seemed almost mythical. Animals so large they could rival the length of a compact car and weigh more than a motorcycle. These were not exaggerations or campfire tales. These tigers were real. Our journey begins deep in the wild, in the heart of India, where legends are born and tested by nature itself. Here lived one of the most extraordinary tigers ever recorded, Wagdo, the legendary Bengal tiger of Tadoba in Maharashtra. Locals called him Scarface, a name inspired by the deep scars that marked his powerful face. Officially identified by researchers as T33, Wagdo was born in the mid-2000s near the Wagdo region, on the eastern edge of the Tadoba Reserve. His name came from that very place, but his fame would soon spread far beyond it. Though little is known about his exact lineage, many believe he descended from a strong line of dominant Tadoba tigers, animals known for their size, strength, and survival instincts. He was fearless, intelligent, and completely unshaken by the presence of humans. As he matured, he began to carve out a vast kingdom for himself, first in the buffer zones of the reserve and later deep within the protected core area. It wasn't long before Wagdo became the undisputed ruler of Tadoba's forests. At his peak, Wagdo was a giant among giants. Forest officials and wildlife researchers documented him as one of the largest wild Bengal tigers ever seen in India. He was estimated to weigh around 270 kilograms, with a chest girth of 136 centimeters and a body length exceeding 2 meters. Some locals went even further, claiming he weighed close to 300 kilograms. While that figure could never be confirmed, anyone who saw Wagdo in person knew it wasn't impossible. His immense size came from several factors: strong genetics, an abundance of prey, and his ability to hold on to prime hunting grounds without much competition. Tadoba's rich ecosystem, filled with prey such as deer, wild boar, and gaur, provided him with a steady source of nourishment. Over the years, his body transformed into a masterpiece of raw muscle and precision, a living symbol of nature's power and grace. His territory extended across the forest core, through buffer areas, and even dangerously close to the railway corridors between Chandrapur and Gotia. His dominance was absolute. Wagdo fathered dozens of cubs, perhaps as many as 40. He wasn't just a tiger, he was a legacy written in fur, muscle, and silent authority. As time passed, the great tiger began to slow down. His once powerful stride softened, and his coat began to fade with age. Yet, even in his twilight years, the aura around him remained. Few dared to challenge him, even as he grew old. Tigers rarely survive beyond 15 years in the wild, but Wagdo defied those odds. He lived to 17, an incredible feat that spoke to his intelligence, resilience, and mastery of survival. In May 2022, forest officials discovered his body near a dry stream bed in the Sinhada region. There were no signs of struggle, no wounds or marks, just a peaceful end in the jungle he had ruled for so long. Wagdo's death marked the end of an era, but his legend continues to echo through Tadoba's forests. In 2025, reports began to surface from Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand. Locals and rangers spoke in awe of a new giant, a tiger so large that it reignited old stories of Wagdo. They called him Hercules. Standing tall and broad-shouldered, Hercules towered over the undergrowth like a moving shadow. His body length measured nearly 7 feet, excluding his tail. With the tail included, this beast stretched nearly 10 feet from nose to tip. Weighing a staggering 300 kilograms, the giants of the wild, the rise of Hercules, and the Siberian Titan. To put things into perspective, this tiger was as heavy as a Harley-Davidson motorcycle and possibly even stronger. His exact age remains uncertain, but experts estimate he is between 6 and 8 years old. His territory, spanning roughly 60 to 80 kilometers, is rich with prey and virtually free from competition. In the buffer forests of Corbett's Fado Zone, this extraordinary tiger, known as Hercules, has begun to carve out a name for himself. Why is Hercules so massive? Wildlife specialists believe his exceptional size can be attributed to a combination of abundant prey, excellent habitat conditions, and the absence of rival males. With no competition for territory or food, Hercules has been able to grow unchecked, thriving in one of India's most fertile ecosystems. Hercules walks as a true giant, possibly the largest wild tiger alive in all of Asia today. Far from India, in one of the planet's most remote and untamed regions, lies another kingdom, a place few humans have ever ventured. Deep within the Sikhote-Alin Biosphere Reserve in the Russian Far East, the frozen air carries whispers of ancient legends. In 2019, scientists and conservationists working in this rugged wilderness made an astonishing discovery: a tiger of unprecedented size. This was no ordinary big cat. This was a giant Siberian tiger, larger than any ever recorded in the wild. Weighing an estimated 383 kilograms, about 844 pounds, and stretching 3.4 meters, over 11 feet, from nose to tail, this tiger was a living monument to nature's power. Many believe he may have been the largest wild tiger ever documented. Several factors play a role. First is the availability of prey. The Sikhote-Alin Reserve teems with wildlife. Herds of red deer, sika deer, and wild boar roam freely through the forests. For a predator of this size, such abundance provides a steady supply of rich, high-calorie meals, essential for maintaining massive muscle and energy reserves. The Siberian wilderness is unforgiving. Winters here can plunge well below freezing. For tigers, survival in such extreme conditions requires more than strength. It requires adaptation. A larger body helps conserve heat, while immense muscles provide the power to move through deep snow and frozen terrain. In this icy world, size is not a burden, it is survival. In this remote corner of the world, this male tiger likely reigned as the alpha, unchallenged and undefeated. With no need to fight for territory or food, he could focus entirely on what nature designed him to do: hunt, thrive, and rule. In peace, he found the time to grow. In strength, he found the power to rule. He was the product of a perfect balance: isolation, abundance, and wilderness. Such giants are not accidents. They are the result of what nature can still create when given the freedom and space to flourish. Raised in captivity in New Jersey by wildlife trainer Joan Byron Marasek, Jaipur was a Siberian tiger who lived a life entirely free of the struggles that define the wild. He never hunted, never fought for territory, and never faced hunger or danger. At the age of 9, he weighed more than 420 kilograms and measured 3.32 meters in length. Some reports claim he reached 465 kilograms before his death in 1999. Jaipur holds the record as the largest tiger ever documented. But Jaipur's story also raises an important question. What do we lose when nature's pressures, the very forces that shape survival, are removed? He was a giant, yes, but a giant behind bars. In the wild, only a rare combination of conditions, plentiful prey, no rivals, and minimal stress, allows a tiger to reach its full potential. Wagdo, the scarred ruler of Tadoba, thrived because he balanced his size with strategy. Hercules, the new legend of Corbett, is still writing his story in the forests of India. The Siberian giant of the Russian wilderness showed us what nature can achieve when untouched by human interference. And Jaipur, the captive colossus, proved that while we can create size, we cannot replicate the spirit of survival. Wagdo taught us endurance and leadership. Hercules reminds us that legends still roam India's forests, if we protect them. The Siberian Titan shows that untouched wilderness still holds secrets beyond imagination. And Jaipur reminds us that size without struggle is only a number. Together, they call us to pay attention, to understand that protecting tigers is not about breaking records or celebrating extremes, but about safeguarding ecosystems, preserving habitats, and ensuring the balance that allows all life to thrive. Because in the end, the greatness of a tiger is not measured in kilograms or meters, but in the survival of the wild it represents.